Welcome to The Explainer. In this deep dive, we're going to tackle a really fundamental question. Why does trying to force change in our lives so often just fail? We're going to uncover why the real key isn't about pushing harder on the outside, but about making a fundamental shift in who you are on the inside.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You set the goals, you put in the effort, you really push yourself. But somehow, you just end up facing the same old frustrations, the same roadblocks, the same reality. It feels like you're running on a treadmill and getting nowhere. So why does this happen? Well, it turns out most of us are unknowingly caught in this powerful psychological loop that just keeps us stuck.
So what is this loop? Most of us are trapped in what you could call a self-fulfilling loop. It's this cycle that pretty much runs on autopilot, and its whole job is to keep our lives perfectly consistent with what we already believe to be true about ourselves and the world. Okay, so here's exactly how that cycle works. It all starts with your external circumstances. You know, your job, your relationships, how much money is in the bank. These things dictate how you feel. And over time, those feelings harden into your core beliefs. And of course, those beliefs are what drive the countless little automatic actions you take every single day that, you guessed it, end up recreating the very same circumstances you started with. And the loop just keeps on going.
And this is the crucial point here. As long as you are stuck in this reactive loop, you're basically powerless. You're always just reacting to yesterday's news, right? You're letting the old reality dictate how you feel today, which in turn creates your results for tomorrow. Genuinely creating something new becomes almost impossible.
So, what do most of us do when we want to break this loop? We try to muscle our way out of it. We think, okay, if I just push harder, if I just grind more, if I use enough willpower, I can force a different outcome. But honestly, this approach is fundamentally flawed.
Let's just look at these two paths side by side. The old way, this outside-in approach, it's all about force and struggle and exhaustion. You're basically fighting against your own internal programming. But the new way, the inside-out approach, it's not about fighting your reality at all. It's about changing your identity first, and then just watching your reality naturally and effortlessly realign around that new you. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It explains perfectly why willpower always fails in the long run. When you're using willpower, you're not actually changing who you are at your core. You're just putting like a temporary patch over your default programming. It's exhausting, it's totally unsustainable, and the second you get tired or stressed, boom, you snap right back to your old self. Why? Because the underlying program, your core identity, it was never actually changed.
This brings us to the absolute core idea, the big paradigm shift of this whole thing. We have to completely flip our understanding of cause and effect. We have to stop seeing the world as this solid, fixed reality, and instead start seeing it as a mirror.
The life you see all around you, your health, your finances, your relationships, that's not the cause of how you feel. It's the effect. Think of it like a physical printout of your internal state of consciousness, a reflection of your deepest beliefs and feelings about who you are.
Think about it like this. When you look in a mirror, you don't try to change the reflection by poking at the glass, right? Of course not. You change yourself, and the reflection has no choice but to change with you. Well, your life works the exact same way. Your current circumstances are just a slightly delayed reflection of the person you were. So if you want to change the reflection, you have to change the person looking in the mirror first.
Okay, so that's the big idea. If the key is to change our internal state, how in the world do we actually do that? The answer lies in cultivating a very specific kind of feeling, the feeling of naturalness. Now, this isn't about faking happiness or chanting affirmations you don't believe. Naturalness is a total identity level shift. It's that moment when your desired reality stops feeling like something you're trying to get, and it just starts feeling like a simple, unremarkable fact of who you are. This college graduate analogy is perfect. I mean, if you've graduated from college, you don't wake up every day and try to feel like a graduate, you just are one. There's no effort, no anxiety, no need to go find proof. It's just a natural, settled fact inside of you. That feeling of calm certainty, that's the state you want to find for your desire.
So, why is this feeling of naturalness so incredibly critical? Well, because it's the only language that your subconscious mind actually understands.
See, your conscious mind, it speaks in thoughts and words and logic. But your subconscious mind, the part that's running like 95% of your life on autopilot, it speaks a totally different language. It speaks the language of feeling, of embodied emotional reality. You can repeat, "I am wealthy" 1,000 times, but if you feel poor, your subconscious only hears the feeling. It's the feeling that imprints the new belief.
And this right here is the secret key.
When you can vividly imagine your desired reality with so much genuine feeling that it becomes your new emotional truth, your subconscious mind just accepts it as a done deal. It literally doesn't know the difference. And once it accepts this new reality as fact, it gets to work, automatically reorganizing your perceptions, your behaviors, and even your energy to align with it. So really, this all boils down to a practice of inner conviction. It's about deciding who you intend to be and then committing to living from that state internally, no matter what the outer world, that mirror, is currently reflecting back at you.
So here's the practical path. First, you mentally and emotionally step into the feeling of your wish already being fulfilled. You just assume that consciousness. Second, you practice living in this feeling until it loses all its novelty and just feels, well, normal, natural. And third, and this is definitely the hardest part, you have to hold on to that inner state with unwavering faith, even when the outside world hasn't caught up yet.
Ultimately, this whole process requires a profound kind of certainty. You have to learn to trust your inner invisible reality more than the outer visible one. You have to just know, without a shadow of a doubt, that what you are creating on the inside is the true cause, and the physical manifestation is just the inevitable effect that has to follow. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. What if you just stopped chasing things in the outer world? What if instead you realize that everything you want is simply a reflection of a version of you that already exists? And your only job then is to become that person on the inside and just let the world rearrange itself around you.